back onto the Cosworth Replica. Kev's been around last week just to do some tidying up bits for us in the engine bay, so a bit more welding work done on some various rust issues. Just allows me to crack on now really, so the engine bay is sorted. Obviously I still need to tidy all that back up, seam seal, epoxy, etc. But first job for this one is to try and get this piece to fit. The carbon splitter, as you might remember from a while ago, it is full carbon. Currently it's not fitting, it's nowhere near close. But I've offered up these two pieces and they do seem the same, so I think all the issue is that is far too narrow. It's been bolted on there far too narrow for potentially a different car. So we just need to widen that out. There's plenty of space there, as you can see, several inches, so just unscrew that, take that off, put it roughly in place, drill some new holes. We should be able to get that fitting. You can see how much wider it is, especially now that I've got the wheels on, how much wider the Cosworth is going to be. Yeah, looks a bit strange like that now. Right, carry on. Alright, so a bit of an update. Compared to the Skyline, this fiberglass kit is absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good. It obviously needs a bit of trimming here and there, a bit of modification here and there, but like I said, compared to what we've dealt with the Skyline, absolutely nothing. It basically just fits where it needs to fit, and we're already on to the final trimming stages and everything on the front end. Rear end's a little bit different, obviously we've covered that in a previous video, and there's a lot more to cover on that still, of course. But yeah, front end and this wing and things are going on really nicely. Just to give you an idea, so we're basically already there. Our bonnet's not in place, it's just resting on there, but we're basically already there with the fit. I've adjusted the holes ever so slightly, so we've got riv nuts on the top edge here. Kev put those in. I put a riv nut down here as well to just fix the wing into that bracket there. They've all got a little bit of movement here and there. We've done that deliberately, so I can literally just put it on and then push it into place where it needs to be. Fits over this lip nicely here. So again, that's it. Pretty much done. Simple as that. Everything just bolts on so nicely. And then in terms of the top, just needs to be shifted out ever so slightly. So if I need to widen that hole ever so slightly again, on the inside, I can do that. And we've got, I think, seven or eight fixing points down the top edge there, so I can just effectively just mount it where I want it to be. Morettes have gone in quite nicely. A little bit of a clearance fit at the moment, but nothing that we can't sort out. Oh, of course, bottom bib. So the bottom bib is requiring a bit more fitment than we wanted, but we've checked it over with the white one. It's exactly the same, so they're both not fitting quite as we would want them to. But nothing major. It's looking pretty good on this side already. It was just a case of widening this out. You can see where it originally was, just there, far too narrow, and we've widened it out to there to fit on the car. Obviously it's just taped in position at the moment, but that will be okay, this one. The other side, not quite as good. So you can see we've got a big old gap there. So what I'm going to do is just I'll just gradually and very, very gently start trimming away so we can close that gap up and get closer in there. That should tighten this gap up then. And we should be good. I've got to be very, very careful with that because remember, it is carbon underneath and we are keeping the carbon. I'm going to get rid of the black paint on the top, so it will be carbon. So I need to be very careful with the way that we trim this. because any chips in the gel coat will be visible on the edges straight away, but equally I do have to trim it. So yeah, it carefully does it with that. Nothing else more to say from that side of things really. I think it will fit, it's just not quite there yet. Again, if it was going to a painted finish, it would somewhat be easier because obviously we don't have to worry about it so much then, but I think we should just be able to trim that there, push it in more, should be fine. I've started fitting the lights in place. Obviously a lot more trimming work to do there, but that's just to check the premise really, just check everything is going to line up nicely how it should. But yeah, I'm coming along quite nicely already on this. So got new bonnet vents as well to go in. That helps me out loads because again, one of the big things on the normal replicas, people end up having to put these weird, horrible things in there just because I think the engine on the standard ones is a little bit higher, something like that, so it doesn't quite clear. Check with the Cosworth guys. Kev will know. Jace, the owner, will obviously be able to tell you more. I can't fully remember what the situation is, but either way, I'm pretty sure that's the case, and Kev's actually dropping the engine on this one so that it will fit, and we can put the original Cosworth vent in there, which is obviously a vent rather than this horrible deal going on there. Yeah, that's a little bit of an introduction into this one for now. In any case, it's coming along quite nicely, so carry on with the other side, get some more riv nuts done on there, open up some of the holes, put the bonnet in place. Just minor trimming work and everything really for that side. Side skirts are going to be a bit more of an issue, we know that. Rear spoiler and all of that side of things. Rear bumper, get onto that shortly, see how that's going to go. I'm just doing the rough fit at the moment, we'll get everything rough fitted and we can go from there really. Okay, just a quick look into what we've been doing on this one. So the spoiler's in place. This bottom piece had threaded inserts on it already, so really nice actually, just ready to go basically. So all we needed to do on this one was find out where the holes needed to go. You can see the bolts are in there. This obviously needs tidying up. I've just done a hole saw there. This hole here was already there for, I guess, a previous spoiler or something, wasn't it? But we'll weld all that up, put a little rubber grommet in there, tidy all this up. Same with the other side, and same with these top ones as well. It's just a case of making a template for these, hole sawing them out, and then finding out exactly where the bolts needed to go. So they, as you can see, are absolutely bang on where my original template was, so I'm happy with that. The only thing that didn't work the first time round in any case was this middle piece. So I tried to put a riv nut in there. I didn't think it was going to work, and it didn't work. It's a solid construction, so riv nuts only really work when there's a plate and they kind of sandwich the plate together. For you guys who don't know, I'm sure most of you do, but for those that don't, a riv nut just squishes together like that, and then the metal plate normally goes in that top section. It kind of sandwiches it together, and that's what holds it in place, and then you've got a threaded insert. I was hoping it was just going to bite and go into the fiberglass. It didn't. It just cracked the whole thing, extremely brittle. So, slightly different way to do this one, which actually works out quite nicely for us, because we can have it exactly how we want it. It's difficult as well with the angles. I can't really show you now, but it's a big thick section that it needed to go through, so the angle for the actual bolts, because it was, you know, long bolts to get through all that section, so it's just a lot easier to do it like this, because we know then the alignment is going to be absolutely spot on. So basically what we're going to end up doing, I've chipped away at it, I've ground it all back, I've put the riv nut exactly where I want it, and I've taped it from the other side to keep it a little bit up inside this, so it's not obviously sticking out and causing us an interference problem. And I'm just going to fiberglass that in place now. So that's going to be a fully fiberglassed threaded insert permanently, basically. It's not going to come out. So yeah, messy at the moment, doesn't look great, but we'll just we'll reglass all of that and get the shape back, and then that'll be a threaded insert in there permanently, ready to go, and we know it's 100% in the correct position. All right, so some really good progress made on the Cosworth Replica. Where are we up to? Trimming work basically, and final fit and all that side of things. So we've just slotted the new vents into place. They fit lovely, no adjustments or anything needed with those. They just fit straight in, obviously. We found this fiberglass piece actually works better than the original Ford one, which is unusual, but we're gonna go with that one. Lights are just slotted in there in place at the moment. They are not final fitted, just starting the trimming work on those. Obviously the morettes need a fair amount of adjustment, and also this wing here needs a fair amount of adjustment. That way the riv nuts on the back are not in the right place, so we need to re-drill those out, weld those holes up, put them back in, get that fitting how it needs to. Yeah, we had a bit more of an issue getting this side to fit. That side really easy. This side wasn't quite lining up how we wanted it, but it's getting there. And we've done quite a lot of work with this. So I said before, a lot of very fine, minute trimming with this to make this work. You can hopefully see the gap now. It's not there anymore. So yeah, that looks really nice now. It's not fully how it's meant to be. These two pieces are meant to fit together. They don't on this one, but I think that looks pretty good as it is. You would never know unless I just pointed it out there. Looks a bit strange at the moment because obviously that's carbon painted, not even sanded yet, so that transition line is throwing it out a little bit, but just imagine it's all the same. I think hopefully you'll agree that that actually looks pretty decent. I was going to do the other side as well, but I can't at the moment. It's an absolutely boiling hot day today, one of the hottest of the year I think, and Dino's here. Enzo keeps coming and plonking himself down here, so too much dust flying around, so I'm not going to do that just yet. I'll do that tomorrow. This was the better side, but as you can see, you know, compared to how we've got the other side fitting now, big gaps. But yeah, we should be able to get this side fitting exactly the same as the other side, if not better, because nowhere near as far out on this side. Spoiler, I think I said, spoiler's all in place. We have, yeah, I haven't shown this. So we've obviously fiberglassed that back in, some adjustments still to be made. I didn't mention before as well the stress cracks. There's quite a few stress cracks on this. We'll deal with that at a later date, of course. Don't know what's happened there, but I think that was from transport issues or whatever, but that's how it came to us, so not a problem. We've just got to notch it out and V out. Need to make sure you get rid of all of these stress cracks. Doesn't matter how deep they go, you need to get them out completely, otherwise if it's just left, it could be an inch deep, but if it's left it'll come back out later on, so we will make sure to address all of that. Put this boot down quickly. Rear bumper. Probably shouldn't have done that actually. The rear bumper is in place, but as you can see, it's not. So it doesn't fit nicely at all. It needs to go further forwards. It's a lot better than it was, so I have trimmed off, I said I was going to, I've trimmed off these pieces, so we're going to be able to get this to fit how we want it. A lot better than it was already, much better in fact. But, as you can see, it's too, you probably can't see on the camera, it's too far out, it's too far back. It needs to go forwards more, which you can see more clearly from the arch lining. Yeah, the way the arch lines up and everything, it needs to go further forwards. We can't do that at the moment, or not easily in any case, because the original mounting points are in the wrong place. So we've currently just drilled a new hole. These were the originals. for the standard bumper. We drilled a new one there to fit onto the mount provided, and it is obviously flush to the chassis of the car now, flush to the frame of the car, and it needs to be more that way. So we're going to have to cut those mounts off, unfortunately, and redo them. No other way to get around that. The whole bumper needs to go further forwards. So yeah, not a big deal, but something we need to take care of. Yeah, all in all, I think that's going to be tomorrow's job now. It's too hot. It's been a day. Get back to it tomorrow. Rear bumper mounted semi-successfully, I'd say. So it's revealed quite a lot of trimming work is going to be necessary, but it's getting there. So on the Cosworths, I have checked all the photos again. At some point, I said before, we'll have Kev's car in. But yeah, the gap there is quite large. It is on Kev's as well, so I'm fairly sure that's just how these are. Regardless, it's bolted on now, so we can do the final trimming and adjustments afterwards. I've got an idea for this side. If I just put you down here, I can hopefully show you on the tripod. So these bits here are the pieces that we took off the original, well, this fiberglass bumper. They just didn't line up at all. So they were originally on here. You can see it wouldn't even be close. But I think the way that it is now, I should be able to just about modify it. So that's going to be the plan now. So we'll eventually mount this to here. I'll reglass this into the fiberglass section. A lot of trimming work needed on this piece, but we should be able to get that to work, I think. Other side, a little bit worse, but again, nothing we can't contend with. So same sort of thing for that piece down the bottom. We'll do that again on this side, but on this side you can see, hopefully you can see in any case, when it's in there, the difference in the angles there, I don't know if I can pick that up on the camera. It doesn't look, no, it's not really showing what I'm seeing in real life. Anyway, these two are completely different angles, so that's not quite going to work for us. We need to adjust that, and also the rear is touching at the moment and not in line with here. So more trimming work to do along there. Again, the gap on this section here should actually be reasonably large, I suppose, by today's modern standards. Obviously not that large, but yeah, there is a decent gap there on the Cosworths. So we'll replicate all of that. More trimming work to do, but we'll concentrate on these pieces first, get the bumper mounted properly, as it were. Yeah, go from there. You'll have to excuse me, guys, if I'm not making as much sense as usual. Not that I normally make much sense, but it's boiling hot today. Almost too hot to be here, to be fair. But yeah, we're cracking on. I'm not going to do any fiberglass work. I was planning on just getting this sanded down and starting the fiberglass on this. It's too warm for something like that. There's no point in me trying to do any fiberglassing on something like that at the moment, just because it's going to go off before I even get a chance to put it on the car. So yeah, we'll keep going with the bumper adjustments. I'm going to have a look at the side skirts then if I have a chance, just to see what we're up against for that, because I know they're going to be a bit of an issue. But everything else, we're almost there, I think, for the rough fit. Right, just a quick check-in. I had a question a little while ago now, I think it was a good few videos back, regarding what fillers we use, what products we use. Apologies, I can't remember who it was from at this stage without going back through the videos and having a look to see who the comment was from. But those of you who've been with us for a while will know we are a Noble shop through and through pretty much. So I'd say 98% of the products that we use in the shop are Noble. It's very, very rare that we use anything which isn't a Noble product. Apart from, ironically, what I'm just about to show you now, which is the filler, in fact. This is Evercoat's Optex is what we use for the filler. It's an Indasa product. It's absolutely phenomenal stuff. I'll be honest, the only reason really that we're on this at the moment still, instead of a Noble product, is because it's obviously a 3-litre tin. On the restoration projects, as you can appreciate, we go through this stuff like crazy. We use a lot of filler on the restoration projects, and I don't believe Noble, this video might actually prompt me to have another look, but I don't believe that Noble has a tub of filler anywhere near that large. So that's the main reason that we're not on Noble for that, but it is fantastic stuff. It's got a colour change indicator in there as well. You guys may have seen this in previous videos. It goes on pink, dries green. It's a bit of a gimmick, but also in winter time especially, it is nice to know. You can look over at the panel, and once it's green, you know it's good to go. Obviously winter time, things take a lot longer to dry. Summertime, put it on the car and it's dry within seconds. Haven't got much work time at all with weather like this. But yeah, phenomenal product. That's the only thing that isn't a Noble product really. Everything else is Noble. So we've got our two different fiberglass filler products here. We've got your normal, I'll show you now quickly, I was just doing this a second ago. Your normal strand filler, fiberglass strand filler, and then your fiber micro, which is absolutely, as the tin says, it's the finer one. So there are fiberglass strands in there, still an elastic product. It's not brittle, these are both elastic. They both sand down fantastically well. This one sands easier than this. But obviously this is for the deeper fill. So, you know, on the deeper fill areas, you'd go in with this first, buzz that down, potentially skim over with this, and then you go on to your normal filler. Obviously, all within tolerances. You don't want to be putting too much filler in any repair job, of course. But yeah, for the fiberglass work, these are the two that we use. Like I said, everything in the shop is pretty much Noble in the professional range or in the spectral range. This is just a glaze. So again, Noble spectral glaze. This is it's basically a filler, but a runny version of a filler. So this is the absolute last product that we would use on a repair area, just to get rid of any potential pinholes, smooth out the area, and have one nice uniform, even coat over the whole thing. We don't always use that. For instance, on the classic cars and things like that, we'd be going straight into a spray poly. And that again is a Noble product. So yeah, everything that we use, like I said, either in the professional range, spectral range, or of course the classic car range. What else have we got? Fiberglass repair. It's not what I've been using on these sort of things. Obviously I would, but it's a small tin again, so we've been using a different one for that. Again, bumper filler, really important to use a dedicated bumper filler. Some people try and get away with not using a bumper filler and just going on straight with something like this. It's not elastic, so this is brittle and it will eventually fail. So we obviously use something with a bit more elasticity, same as the fiberglass products as well, more elastic than your normal filler. Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. If you've got any more questions or if there's something you want me to go into more in depth, then please do let me know. Drop a comment in the comment section below and I'll try and get back to you. But yeah, we keep it really, really simple in this shop. Like I said, I think 98% of the products that we have in here are Noble. All right then guys, I think that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it for this week. So I'll just give you a quick walk around the car and show you what we've been up to. Quick recap, we've trimmed this piece now. So this fits really nicely. You'll remember there's a big gap all the way along there and this didn't line up at all. Bit of a color mismatch still, so it kind of throws you out a bit, but I can promise you that does line up nicely now. So that should fit really nice now. Now, once we get it all into carbon, that'll look good. We're getting a bonnet catch and indicators next week, so we can start the gapping work. There's no point in doing any more gapping than I have until I know that the bonnet fits and sits exactly where I need it to sit. Going around the car, same on this side. That's all gapped up nicely. So we'll take those back off afterwards, obviously sand that back to bare carbon, and then they'll just be re-cleared, and that'll be a whole carbon splitter bib then. That'll look nice. We've done some work on the rear bumper, as you've seen. So rear bumper is now held in place by 4 bolts on the back, 1 underneath, 2 on each side. So this was the original mounting point that the replica bumper came with, but it was just in completely and utterly the wrong position. So we've just modified that, put it to where it needs to be. This will now unbolt from there nicely and bolt straight back on again. Well, obviously we'll change the nuts and bolts from those to something nicer when the time comes. This side does have an angle mismatch, as I've tried to show previously, but it just doesn't show up on the camera because of the shadows. Or maybe it does. That's the wrong angle there in any case. They don't meet up. It's like a triangle wedge in between. I don't know how well that shows on the cameras because it does look like shadows, but yeah. If you can see a wedge, it's not a shadow. It is just the wrong angle. So we'll change all of that. The other side, I think you can see straight away, is a lot better without having to do anything. Obviously trimming work still because we need to widen that gap there. But yeah, that's all fine tuning. That's all expected. That's in the stages to come. Side skirt is going to be a bit more of an issue. We've cut them here, or Kev cut them here for me, because the original Cosworth has a split there. It's not a one-piece side skirt, so we're trying to make this, as you guys remember, we're trying to do absolutely everything we possibly can to make this look indistinguishable between a genuine Cosworth and this one. So we're going to put a flange on there, out of fiberglass again, most probably, or possibly fuser, but yeah, put a flange in there to make it look like the genuine deal. Not 100% sure I'm going to get this to fit just yet. The construction is good. The fit is not fantastic. You can see on the back end here, it's very twisted. It's warped out of position. Both sides are like this. So trimming work, even trimming work's not going to get me much further than that, I don't think. So we're probably going to end up cutting the stress out of it, reglassing it back into position, and going from there. We'll have a metal plate along the top edge there, I think. I can't bolt it down, that's the problem. If I was able to bolt it along there, it'd be easier to manipulate this, but I can't bolt this one down because obviously any bolts that I put in there will be seen. It's not an inbound side skirt, it'll sit on the outside of the car always. I think they normally use poppers and pop it back into the original sill. That would be extremely difficult to replicate with fiberglass, so I don't think we're going to go down that route. But I'll have a think about it and figure out what we're going to do with that. But yeah, all in all, it looks weird, obviously, with these wheels at the moment. Well, I've done that on purpose. It's just, you know, a lot of dusty work and all sorts of cutting and trimming and all that. So I don't want to get the nice wheels scuffed or scraped. We don't need them on there at this stage. We've just changed over to some not so nice wheels. Yeah, it's coming along though. To all intents and purposes, like I said, it's coming along very nicely actually. This is pretty much the rough first fit all done. And it is just about manipulation and changing positions ever so slightly now. Yeah, we'll get there. Just wanted to say as well, guys, the channel has almost hit 2,000 subscribers now, so that's absolutely massive news for us and my small tiny little shop in the middle of Wales here. Yeah, really grateful, really appreciative to all of you. If you are new here and you're not subscribed, feel free to follow along. We've always got something relatively special in the shop. Any questions, do pop a comment in the comment section below and I'll try and get back to you guys. I'm not the fastest on there, but I do always try and reply to every single comment going. Yeah, other than that, good to have you here and we'll catch you next week.